Okay, we've stopped cranking it. What we found was something similar to what had happened already, and that is that the number 7 rocker for the exhaust valve was already slipped off of the top of the valve. Boink, it was at a corner, and we were just cranking, never started. We ended up slightly bending that push rod. We've got a couple other extras, and we're going to try that. That's my elbow on the horn. And so I think we're at a stopping point for tonight, pretty much. We're going to try filing the top of that exhaust valve some more. It was a little bit chipped. I don't know what the deal is. That one was maybe 80 thousandths higher than the one next to it as far as the clearance between the top of the keeper and the top of the valve stem. So anyway, it's going to be kind of an operation. You know, we'll mask it all up, make sure there's no metal shavings, and file the top of that valve a little bit more, and try it again. I mean, the alternative is pull the head and replace the valve, which not going to do tonight, that's for sure. So when you've been at it most of the day and you come to an issue like this, it's time to call Beer 30. So I don't know if you can see this, but we also have this surge tank temporarily rigged up, bungee cords holding the shroud just to make sure that it doesn't hit the shroud, the fan doesn't hit the shroud. And hopefully we were hoping that we'd get it running, but at least not tonight. We'll hit it again tomorrow. Doesn't look like we have any fuel leaks, any obvious coolant leaks, but we still have this problem with number 7. So anyway, we're gonna hit it again tomorrow. Stay tuned. And thanks for watching. Right, Jose?
Right.
Okay, it's Friday, and we're kind of running out of steam and ideas on this engine. We are more than likely going to put a new rocker in there and get it fired up, just for it enough to be able to get it up a driveway. It's going to probably go on the back of the tow dolly and head back to SoCal, where they have machine shop capabilities that are close in physical location to where Jose lives. If we try to do any kind of extensive work like pull a head off, get the new valve in there, the machine shops are backed up here just as much as they are down in LA. But ideally we'd be able to get something in and out in a couple of weeks, but there's no guarantee on that. So Jose's got to get back to his family, and I've got to get back to Frank's van. So we put a lot of effort into it, tried to get it to go, but doesn't look like it's going to fly except onto the back of the tow dolly. And then that poor ranger is going to be working to pull this thing over the Altamont Pass, which should be an adventure in itself. It just goes to show that if your vintage Chevy van has not been on the back of my tow dolly, then you might not have a lot of stories to tell. All right.
I have nothing to add.
Okay, back to work, right? Okay, we thought we had it on time lapse, but it was actually on regular video, so I don't know if we're going to get that part in. Regardless, we've got this rocker a new rocker installed. Hopefully that's the issue, or that will be a help, because now our current plan is to tow dolly it to LA instead of trying to drive it. That one valve on number 7 is just too chancy. You know, maybe we were hoping against hope to try to get some kind of quick fix to get it down to LA, but now it's the thinking is that we're more likely to have an issue, catastrophic issue, potential catastrophic issue on the way down there. So now it's just about getting it fired up enough, or seeing if it'll run enough to get it up his incline into his working area when he gets down to LA. The Ranger just does not have the capabilities of pushing or pulling this van up that incline. So ideally we'd tow it down there, disconnect it, and then fire the van up and just drive it on to the working area on the side of his house, and then he can work at it at his leisure. There's just no real it's not a good option to leave it here. Every time he would want to come up here and work on it, it's another 8 hours each way. So best thing to do is get it down there close to the places that, you know, he can work on it and access the machine shops in the local area. So we're going to go ahead and fire this up, and if it runs, we're going to see what happens with that one rocker. If it seems to behave, then maybe we'll adjust it if it's clattering too much, but basically we just want to make sure that it runs here so that we can fire it up once we get down to LA. Otherwise it's going to be sitting on the street, and that's not an ideal place to be working on a vehicle. So I'm going to cut the video and come right back when we're ready to fire it up. Okay, battery contact, we are ready to fire it up. I'm going to use a little quick start, mostly because I like the smell of it, and I'll use any excuse to use it. Take a little shot for my nose. Yep, I'm ready to go.
.2.
12.2 volts. Jose is standing back. Maybe I shouldn't be leaning over the belts.
Good sign. Good
And it looks like the rockers are behaving.
Good sign.
If it keeps running good, maybe we'll change our mind and have them attempt to drive it.
Want to try real gas and pump it?
No, real gas don't smell as good as this. Make sure that you put your face directly in the line of the belts, so that if one comes loose, it'll slap you silly. It's already slipping off. See that?
Yeah, look at the rest of them. It's enough to get me up to drive with it. It's not off.
No, but it's slipping off. It's off to the side already. So it does run. I think this would be a good configuration for us to actually try and drive it up that hill.
Not if it's stumbling.
Well, yeah. I mean, we got to fire it up, get it running, and then, you know, get it warm enough so it's not going to stall on the way. But I still think that that's going to slip off, and that kind of confirms to me that is the top of that valve is just going to move that rocker slowly off of there. Even in the short amount of time that it's run, it just does not inspire confidence. I mean, it sounded good. I don't think that there's enough fuel. It's like it sounds like it's starving for fuel. But and I'm happy enough with the distributor way it is. We can always move that around a little bit once we get down to LA, and we're trying to warm it up enough to get it to go up the hill. So it's, we've got to get a better system for getting your van or vehicles up the hill, up that driveway, that steep driveway on the side. So anyway, I say let's button it up, hook it up to the tow dolly, and head south. How's that sound?
Sounds like a plan.
On the road again. Yep, we are on the road again, thanks to Willie Nelson in the background. We got about a mile down the road, remembered that I had forgotten to disconnect the drive shaft, so I pulled over, dropped the U-bolts, and wired up that drive line, and hopefully free sailing over to Thousand Oaks, California. We're on our way. Friday night, the adventure continues.
Many hours later.
Well, it's 2:30 in the morning in Southern California. We made it without incident, stopped a few times. Made it over the Grapevine, which for those that don't know is like a ring of, it's a mountain range that Interstate 5 crosses. It goes from the valley floor, which is maybe, I don't know, 20, 50 feet in elevation, up to about 4,200, I'm guessing, at the peak, which was Tejon Pass, T-E-J-O-N, Tejon Pass. So now Jose is inside. He's got to move his Monte Carlo, and then we'll park in front of the house. And there's supposed to be some frosted glasses in the freezer, and we just happened to bring a couple of IPAs to check out after we got here. So hopefully tomorrow we can sleep in, take the van off the back of the tow dolly, and then get it up there his hill. He's got kind of a sloping driveway to the backyard, so hopefully that should be without incident. Should be okay. But anyway, here it is. We got here. And the adventure will continue tomorrow. Well, actually, it'll continue today since it's like real early in the morning. All right. Thanks for coming along. Okay, so the beach cruiser has successfully made it up the hill of the driveway, and mission accomplished. Didn't get much sleep last night, thanks to Freaky calling me and waking me up. Anyway, there's a van show today, and somewhere here in LA, maybe an hour away, and that's what we plan on doing. That's what I'm going to try to talk Jose into doing, is going to a van show while I'm here. So everything's good. Made it here without incident, and friggin' awesome. So welcome to Southern California. It's a little bit humid, but man, it's nice to have this thing tucked away in his home. So